Hello, my name is David Webb, and this is a video for Dweebovision. I am a Scrabble grandmaster, and in this video I am going to play Scrabble while providing in-game commentary on my moves. Hopefully this will help to improve your game, and be fun to watch. The game has just started, so let's join the action. My opponent has gone first with putty. I have quite a good rack, but do I have a bingo? There isn't an I for making an ing ending. I do have ly. So I've got gently plus an E. I'm considering the floaters in putty one by one to see if any bingo jumps out at me. Can't see anything with the P or the U. Or the T, and two Y's not very likely. Now I certainly want to play off the Y. And I note that my Y can go above the U of putty. Well, what about playing gently down here? It takes out the double-double lane. And the rack leave is probably optimal. Now that's 20 points. I don't think I could get very much more elsewhere. Great. That looks pretty close to a bingo. Tangoed. Doesn't go anywhere at the moment. Do I have anything else? Again, I have the N and the G without an I. My opponent provides no further floaters. I don't think T-E-A-D is good. I think it's T-E-A-D-E. Otherwise, tangoed would play. Not 100% sure of that, but I think that is the case. I'm not going to risk it. So, do I have anything through the P? Can't see anything. What about the G and the E of gently? Well, I can't see anything. It's a shame. This looked quite bingo-y when I initially saw it. Now, I could play today down here. $26 points doesn't give much opportunity for my opponent. Rackley fairly balanced, although the G isn't a great tile to hang on to. Can I do better than that? I'm looking at the U of putty. Underneath that, I can place my G or my D. And both of those tiles also go next to A, so I could play nudge down here. Let me see what this scores. This does provide access to the triple word square at 08, and it's fewer points. And I think I prefer EGN to AOT as a rack leave. I'm only hesitating over playing today because I would certainly prefer to play off the G. The G is the least bingo-y tile on my rack. How can I do that? Well, I could play goad in column 12. 18 points. I'm going to go with today. I don't think the point sacrifice for getting rid of the G is worth it. And there is some synergy with the N. gun women is not good. And in any event, Nell is not valid. Gown men, though. Gown men. Wow, that's something to think about. Now, snashed. Pretty sure it's good. Ah, well, I am going to challenge this because of the teed play. Painful. That means tangoed would have played last go. Okay, and I'm now behind. So, do I have a bingo through any of these floaters? I don't think wagon men is good. Gownman, does that play? Or what about gownsman? Not sure about that. So how to sort this rack out? My W can go, or my M can go in front of Ed in row F. So I could play G now down here, finally getting rid of the G. If Ogo was good. I could play women. I certainly need to split up this duplicate N. £30 points. I have ignoble. I don't think ignobles is good. Elbowing. I've got elbowing in row B. And I think boweling might also be good. Great, that's one bingo. Do I have an alternative? I'm looking at the floaters in snashed. Great. Elbowing stays available. Boweling would be better because it would get doubled. I'm not 100% sure of boweling. So elbowing across here, 66 points. This is going to bring me right back in the game. And this is a non-bingo-y rack, but not really surprising when you're drawing 7 random tiles. I've only got one vowel to work with. But I do have scoring tiles in the J and the X. I'm looking around at the vowels on the board. Not many of them. I could play Ruck, R-U-C, in column 9, making Sal. What else do I have? I'm looking in column 4 to see if I've got something through OS. I'm 10 points behind, but my opponent is on turn. Okay, not a huge score for my opponent. Well, what can I do with this rack? The trouble with playing Kerr is that I'm keeping JWX, and that's going to take a while to work through. I've got 12 minutes left. There are 45 tiles in the bag. I could play Jew in column 6, but that's not going to score very much, and I'm keeping the duplicate R. I'm looking in column 9 to see if I've got something better than Ruck. Now, do I have a longer play which plays next to AY as well? Well, I don't have one which goes through the U, but I can place my J here, so I could play Jew here for 26 points. Rack leave of CIRRX, not too bad. And I could also play Xeric in column 6 for 14 points. Well, the duplicate R isn't that bad. Yeah, I think this is okay. This is the trouble with keeping duplicate tiles, is that they can become triplicates and then very difficult to deal with. I've got Rick Rack in column 3, but it doesn't score very much. And I've still got Xeric in column 6. Now, do I have a play down column 8 from the H of Snatched? That could begin, or would begin, HA. Don't think I do. I'm looking in row A to see if I've got something across to the D of dough. So my A could go in front of the B. So that's all I can do. Ah, except I could play Abri. I haven't fully considered my opponent's, the consequences of my opponent's play, but let me just see what this scores. 36 points, that's a good score with this rack. Rack leave not good. What can I do with what my opponent has provided? I've got IX for going in row D, but I don't have a word which ends IX. So what about playing down column 4? Nope, can't see anything there. Well, I think I'll go with Abri. The score is certainly pretty good. Good, I don't draw any more R's. And that was actually the first R to be played. And I have another vowel. And I also have a little bit of synergy. The C and the K go well together. Boyle takes an A in front. 26 points for my opponent. He's only 8 points ahead of me. So, what can I do with this? I've got Crux, but BU is not good, so I can't play that in row D. I'm looking around to see if there is anywhere good for my X. Abri takes an M, an N, and an S after it. Now, I could play Croak down here. .28 points, that's a pretty good score, and it's not a terrible rack lead. There's only one U unseen. I'm just hesitating because I think I may have seen something in my mind and then momentarily forgotten it. Ah, yes, it was the aboil hook, wasn't it? Well, that was actually the same letters as Croak. 27 points. So, is there anything better than either of those? I'm looking in row D. My K could go after EL to make elk. But I don't have anything to go under the I of Boyle. So is there anywhere for crux? And also I've still got the play down from the H of snatched. Hurrah doesn't fit. Can't see anything there. I think croak is fine. I'm a little short on time, so I need to pick this pace up a bit. Pretty grim rack, 2 Fs, a V and an X. But the 2 Fs are quite good as a duplicate tile. They're fairly easy to play off. But what I can't do is play them off with the V or the X. Good, only 8 points for my opponent. I no longer have the play down from the H of snatched, or indeed the front hook for Boyle. I'm looking to see if I can play at A1 across to the C of croak. Can't see a way of doing that. OS takes an E after it. I've got nothing to go after UN. So do I have a play from L1 across ending with E? Wow, this is a tough, tough rack. Just struggling to see anything, and I've got very little time, only 6 minutes left. What about down column 4 through the OS? Can't see anything there. Just so few floaters on this board. I thought I would at least be able to score with this rack, and I'm not being able to. Wow. Just wasn't expecting it to be this hard. I'm thinking about changing. Both blanks unseen. Yep, I think I will change, because Q takes an S in front. So I'm going to keep E and R. I don't see any point in keeping the X even. There's nowhere good to play it, and it inhibits my bingo prospects. Great, I draw a blank. I have Aries, which plays in column 2, making scalp, and I've also got Aries in row M, making Jews. Fantastic. This doesn't look a great rack with so many vowels, but Aries is there. I don't think my opponent's likely to block both of those openings, but he might. He doesn't, but he does bingo. And it's quite good in some ways that we're both bingoing, because I am short on time and this burns a lot of tiles. So, Aries, 66 points. Okay, I'm still going to be about 10 points behind. And Aries provides some good opportunities for scoring, especially with the Z and the X unplayed. I'm just looking around to see if there's anywhere else I could play Aries. And I don't think there is. Well, I dodge all of the high tiles, which actually would be quite useful with the D1 spot next to the A of Aries and the I at next to the triple word square at H1. They're both good opportunities for high-scoring tiles to score a lot. And there are no bingo lanes on this board. So now it's all about the high scoring tiles. I'm looking at A1 to see if I've got a play across to the C. "61 points with my X. Now I probably ought to play down from A1. 11 tiles left. My opponent's got a very good lead. Do I need to bingo to win? I may do, in which case a play in the top left-hand side of the board doesn't really work for me. I could do with opening the board up and my opponent being lured to the top left. I'm looking at the vowel situation, it's quite balanced. So I'm thinking about playing in row N or down from the A of tear gas. Only one E left, so I don't mind keeping the duplicates. So I could play Ain down here, but then I'm looking for a bingo with two N's. But if I play Annie, I'm looking for a bingo with at least 4 vowels. What to do? Well, what I could do is play iron up here. It's a better rack leave. Yeah, I think I'm going to do this. This does provide scoring opportunities, especially if I get the Z. Which I don't, but do I have a bingo? If my opponent doesn't block the iron hook, okay, he has done. 5 tiles left. I'm 100 points behind, so this game looks lost. 5 tiles left. Not very nice tiles. 2 U's, 2 V's, 2 F's. So, what if I just sort out my duplicates down here? Good rack leave. Yeah, I think this is the sensible thing to do. Maximises my chance of bingoing, even though I don't think a bingo is going to be enough to win this game. I pick up the V and the M. Not great tiles when you're looking for a bingo. But the game is lost. Drove men isn't good. Overmend isn't good. I've also got column 14 down from the O of iron. Can't see anything there. I'm looking to see if I've got any extensions of Zine. Can't see any. There are no tiles left, so I'm now looking to go out in 2. I've only got 1 minute on my clock. So what I can do is Venom across here. Do I have... That's 25 points. Do I have 2 outs for DR? Well, I've got Ord in column 14 making RE, and I've also got red in row O. My opponent does not have a bingo through the E of R. So where's the best for D and R? Ord in column 14 scores 6 points. Red in column 6 scores 6 points. Can't see anywhere else which might score more. Nard in row G 6 points. Maybe that's all there is with this rack. I have 45 seconds left. And I think this is the best I can do. So I'll just wait for my opponent to formally end the game, which he does. And the final score, 357 to me, 456 to my opponent, a winning margin of 99 points. So well done to my opponent. Let's see what I missed. It was my opponent to go first. He played putty. And gently at e10 was my play. I think that looks best. This is where I had tangoed and thought that teed was not good, and it was, so that was a big error. Instead, I played today at d12, and that looks fine, but it's a long way behind the tango to play. Great bingo by my opponent. Gownsman was good. Ouch. Okay, that was a bad miss. And I played women for 30, keeping GN. So again, that would have the bingo would have been much, much better than the non-bingo play. Now I did bingo. I wimped out of playing bowling and played elbowing instead, and that cost me 12 points. This was a tricky rack. I played Jew at J9, and that is certainly better than changing and looks like the best of a bad bunch. Now, what did I do here? I played Abri for 36, keeping CRRX. I could have played Racks for 42, keeping CIRR. Yep, the Racks play would have been better. Crux did play, making up and zoo in row G. And instead, I played Crook for 28. Gosh, I don't think I had my Scrabble head on tonight. Crux would have been much better. This was an awful rack, and this is where I think I changed. Yeah. And looking at the rack leaves, well now, I think changing, well, it's not far behind many of those plays, but it's possible that some of those plays are better. Difficult to say without further analysis. Nice bingo by my opponent. I was able to come back with Aries at D2. And I also could have played it at C2, making a boil for 1 less point. And that might have been better because it wouldn't have placed the A next to the double letter square at D1. Now my opponent had the scoring tiles in the X and the Z. Wenia L9. That would have been nice, taking advantage of the E hook for teed. Instead, this is where I went hunting for a bingo. And Wenia would have, well, Wenia wouldn't have been a great play because it would have played off a lot of tiles and meant that I was almost certain to draw the V's or the F. So I think iron is better than Wenia. Horde K8. Very nice. Through the H of Snashed. 36 points. Didn't see that. But there were 3 tiles left, and, well, Horde would have emptied the bag, and I think it was better to leave a tile in the bag. Horrible rack for my opponent, but he was able to score well with it. And finally, nearly finally, this is where I played Venom for 25, and I think that's better than Mond because there may not be 2 spots to play RV, but there were in respect of DR. and 6 points was the most that was available. So a heavy defeat there, but I was the author of my own misfortune by not being sure of Teed. If I'd been sure of Teed, I'd have played Tangoed. My opponent wouldn't have had Snatched in that spot. And the other error was hesitating and not playing Gownsman. Wasn't sure of it, confusing it with Gownmen. So I think if you miss 2 bingos in a game, you can't really be too upset about losing the game. So, well done again to my opponent. I hope you enjoyed watching that and got something out of it. My name is David Webb, and this has been a video for Dweebovision.